Okay, folks, thought I'd let you know a little bit about what I'm putting together here. I'm making a Vetyver scented soap, and I'm using the Vetiver type fragrance from Brambleberry. I've used it before. It soaps really good, and I love the smell of it. I get a lot of good feedback, and I've recently had a request, so I'm going ahead and making more. I've been needing to, so here we go. I'm going to use an ounce of fragrance for a 2-pound batch, because I want it to be at least medium, and according to their fragrance calculator, 1 ounce is about an average between heavy and medium. I am actually using some vetiver tea that I made myself. I grew vetiver plants last year, and so I took some root and I made tea with it. So I used, to dissolve my lye, I was using 4.8 ounces of lye, so I needed at least that of liquid to dissolve it. So I used half and half kombucha tea. I like to use that a lot in my soaps. And half water, so for a total of 5 ounces of liquid to dissolve my lye water. The other 5 ounces, I'm using vetiver tea, and I will add that after I add my lye solution to my oils. My oils are just a basic batch, basic recipe, olive oil, coconut, castor oil, some shea butter I like to add. So just a basic recipe I like to use. I'm making it simple. Basically, just the batter, raw batter color. I'm going to add a mica line, combining black charcoal and some really pretty pink mica that I have. This happens to be raspberry red mica powder from Crafter's Choice. So if you see that, and then this is activated charcoal. So I'll do a pencil line in the middle. Then on top, I plan on putting some dried blossoms that I dried from my pineapple sage plant last summer. They're a really great annual plant. They grow well here, at least they're an annual here in Kentucky. And they bloom in the fall. They're like the last thing to bloom, and they're so bright and cherry, so I love them. They smell kind of like sweet hay, a little floral, but it's a middle, make a nice touch. Pop a color on top. I also dried some of the vetiver root and powdered it, so I'm going to try mixing that in about 1 teaspoon for the whole batch. And I'm going to add it into my fragrance oils. Actually, I'm only going to add about a half a teaspoon. I've not used this before, so I don't want to add too heavy amount and have it be scratchy. It's kind of for the label appeal and to see how it goes. Okay, I'll add a little more. You know how it is. Decide you want to add more. So that'll have a chance to absorb a little liquid. Add my fragrance oil after I add all my other liquids to my oils. Alright, and I'm going to hand stir this. Oops. I think I better strain that. Looks like some lye chunks in the bottom. Well, it looks clumpy anyway. So my oils are 119. My lye solution is 116. Glad I strained that. It never hurts. Doesn't hardly take any more time anyway. Alright, I'm going to add my Vetiver tea now. Should have stirred that first. Using some of my powder. That smells good. I don't even hardly see that vetiver root. I might actually add a little more. I will make it a whole teaspoon. Well, that's good to know. Crazy, but I hate my thing getting all chunky. So I always give it a quick rinse. Always have a little cup with water, some white vinegar, a little bit of dish soap. It doesn't hurt anything if I have to grab it out and use it again. So I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of this in now. Sometimes in this mold, I like this mold, but if I tamp it, the bottom part of these little boards want to pop out. So it's not good. It doesn't take much to keep it from sliding. I just gotta give it a little something to stop the motion to start with, and then it stays in place. Come on. There we go. Alright, what's that? Little speck. You ever wonder where stuff comes from? It's like, where did that come from? Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside for a moment. Slide it down. Yeah, I better keep it centered. Put this in here so I can keep giving it a little stir. If you've soaped for a while, you already know this, but it took me a little bit to figure it out. I'd see other people stir their batter even though they weren't doing anything with it. It actually helps keep it more fluid in between. Just helps. Like that was starting to set up, but you give it a little stir and it adds a little life to your work time, just a little bit. All right. And clean one. I'm not even going to use that now. Get out of the way. Trying this. See how it'll work. Need more pink. This may be silly, but I ought to try it. You don't know till you try it. Back down so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit. Don't know how much you can see. I have a smaller screen inside. I forgot to bring it out. So here we are. This is what I got. So that's what I'll use. I've used it for a long time and it works fine. For the most part. Oops. Alright, that's actually working okay. A little more black. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so here I am the next day. I have already unmolded my Vetyver soap. I actually unmolded it this morning, so I unmolded it about 12 hours, 13 hours after I poured it. And I probably could have cut it right away, but it still felt a little flexible, so I chose to wait. And so here we are. This is what the top turned out like. I should have, instead of just sprinkling the mica on top for the swirl, I should have put it in oil, and it would have looked more smoother instead of just having the little speckles. But I don't hate it. It's just I was being lazy and I chose to just sprinkle the mica on. Sometimes, well, originally I had thought of it just being bare, and then I thought it looked too bare, so I wanted to add the mica, and I didn't already have it in oil, so I just went with it, and here we are. It turned out pretty good. Looks like the mica line turned out fairly straight. On this side, I'm guessing maybe because of the heat, it made a little bit of a divot. I don't know. You can see that. So I'll have to clean up that side of it. So I'm going to cut it here in just a bit. Let me set my cutter up. I always clean my cutter after each use, but still, in case it gets dusty in between uses, I always just wipe it off a bit. Makes me feel better. Alright, I'm not going to cut it straight down because of all the botanicals. It'll just end up scratching it. So I'm going to put it on its side. I'm going to lose some of the botanicals, some of the flowers, but that's to be expected a little bit. The length of these flowers just makes it where you can't put them on too straight, like in perfect little rows. So they're going to cross the wire line, and it's just going to take some out. So there's what the end piece looks like. I can see a little bit of the texture from the Vetiver powder, but I like it. It's not too much. I ended up using 1.5 tablespoons to 2-pound batch of soap, so I think that turned out okay. And there's another piece. So I'll clean them up here a little bit later. I had put the pink in the mica line, but it doesn't look like it showed up at all. Just the charcoal. So it could have just, the pH of the soap might have just toned it down a bit. I can almost imagine I see it, but it really doesn't. Alright, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.